The Caribbean is often described as the most tourism-dependent region in the world. A titan is described as one that stands out for greatness of achievement, one who is influential in his field. I'm Marlene Stevenson-Daly. Welcome to our podcast. We call it Tourism Titans. It's about the movers and shakers of the industry, men and women who have contributed to its growth and development in Jamaica, the region, and indeed, the world. Welcome to the 12th episode of Jamaica's Tourism Titans. We're so pleased today to welcome to our podcast a phenomenal woman who is still basking in the glow of being named Caribbean Hotelier of the Year 2023. She received this award on the Caribbean Travel Awards CTA in February, and it's certainly a high point on her career in hospitality and tourism, which started in 1989 at the Half Moon Hotel. This elegant resort nurtured her over the many years and prepared her for the position of its first female general manager. A glass ceiling moment indeed. Shernette Crichton, welcome to Jamaica's Tourism Titans and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Marlene. It is such a deep honor to be here with you and to join my colleagues as well that who have been considered as tourism titans. So thank you so much. It's great to be here.
And it is a pleasure to have you. Now, tell me, how did you feel when you heard your name being called and they said Caribbean Hotelier of the Year 2023 is, and then the drum roll? How did you feel?
Well, Marlene, it didn't happen like that, actually.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
I actually got a text message from my husband, saying that he saw this in the news. And I said, "You saw what in the news? Are you joking?" So I called my director of brand marketing communications, Laura Redpath, and said, "Laura, is this for real?" And she said, "Let me check into it." And Marlene, I can't tell you, I almost fell off my chair. Yes, but it is truly a phenomenal feeling. Yeah,
yes.
Deeply honored to receive such an award.
You did have an opportunity for the award to be handed over and all of that subsequent.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That's right. We had a cocktail reception, and Alex Britell from Caribbean Journal, who is the CEO of Caribbean Journal and chief editor, he joined us at the cocktail reception at Half Moon, including Sheila Johnson, as well as Guy Stewart, who is our board chairman, and the president of Salamander also joined us, and the executive vice president was there from Salamander. Also, the Minister of Tourism, Ed Bartlett, and our Deputy Prime Minister, Horace Chang. My family was there, my husband, Joseph and his wife, and my son, Joshua. Unfortunately, Jordan, who lives in Dallas, he was not able to make it, but he was there in spirits, and my Half Moon team. And we also invited a few persons from the Jamaica Tourist Board, the Tourism Product Development Company, as well as the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association.
And you've been a member of that association for many years as well.
Correct.
But why do you suppose you were chosen? I mean, what does Caribbean Travel Awards look for in its Hotelier of the Year? Because I'm sure they have their criteria for selection.
The criteria, I feel, for me is the fact that we just opened Eclipse, and then taking the resort through a pandemic and operating a legend such as Half Moon is no easy feat. So I do believe that the Caribbean Journal selected me based on those criteria. Running a legend, opening a new property
in Eclipse, a time of
that's in a pandemic. Yes.
Dire straits.
Yes.
Bold moves, I must say. But let's go back a bit. Tell us, what kind of a little girl were you?
I was a tomboy.
I
love climbing trees.
Okay.
Growing up in Clarkstown, I used to walk maybe a mile and a half to school, the Clarkstown Primary School, because I could not get up early enough and get dressed to accompany my mother, who was a teacher at the time at the primary school.
So she would leave
And
you?
so she would leave me because she taught me a lesson to be on time. And if you're not on time, then I would join the line, for that spanking, for being late. But growing up on a sugar farm, with my father being the manager of the Lompon Sugar Estate, taught me about hard work. He would get up at 4 a.m. in the mornings, and he would be out there with the cane farmers. And sometimes I'm joining him in the Jeep. And, burning sugar cane, learning about that process of making rum. And also just be on a farm. And it wasn't just about sugar cane, but we had cows as well. We had goats as well. And we also raised chickens.
Did you ever learn how to milk? Did you ever learn how to milk a cow?
No, I was afraid of the cows. I only stood at the I only stood in the pathway to make sure that you're going in the right direction.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But as a girl, growing up in Clarkstown was truly special.
What about siblings? Did you have brothers that you would tomboy with, or?
No, actually, my siblings lived in Green Island. And my sister and I, we lived in Clarkstown with my dad and mom, because my father had 6 children, before marrying my mother. Yes.
Okay, well, mine had 10. Don't worry about it.
So I would be climbing trees with one of my best friends, Cheryl, at the time, and she lived next door. So we would climb the guava tree, we would climb the tamarind tree, and then we would also go into the cane field. And pick cane.
Yes, and eat cane.
Yes,
and
and
if
eat
you have
cane.
too much of that, you get drunk,
That's right.
You fall asleep in the cane piece.
No wonder I was feeling fatigue at times. Yes.
Tell me, did you always want to be in the hospitality and tourism business?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Because growing up, I had 2 siblings who worked in hotels. And then we used to vacation at the Trelawney Beach Hotel. And as I walked through that space, it was so grand, and beautiful, and the grand buffets that they would have, and just seeing people and meeting people. I think I had a passion for that, because I was, yes, I was a very bold young lady.
You went to boarding school, actually Westwood High School, up in the bushes there in Stewart. What is it, Stewarttown?
Stewarttown, right.
Stewarttown.
But I did not board, Marlene. I was a day student, no.
Ah.
Yes,
okay.
I was a day student, yes.
But what was that experience like, and how, if at all, did it help to shape you as a young woman?
Going to Westwood High School taught us how to be different. And the motto, ora et labore, meaning work and pray, helped develop my faith. And it also taught us how to stand out. As you know, we wore hats.
Still do.
Yes, we still do, right.
The only school in Jamaica that still wears its hat proudly.
That's right,
Yes.
that's right. And we wore it proudly, because we were taught to stand out. We were also taught to stand tall on a foundation of respect, honesty, integrity, as well as hard work, and to have a determination for excellence. And I would say that Westwood, if you want to be a lady, then go to Westwood. We were not allowed to do many things.
Any of your teachers stand out?
I would say that, yes, Miss Piggott stood out for us, She was our science teacher, and she was she was a little bit more compassionate, She was Irish, actually, because our Jamaican teachers are usually tough, and she was a little bit warmer.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
and so we would love to go to Miss Piggott.
Now, I'm going to fast forward. You spent most of your working life at Half Moon. How did you get to Half Moon? What led up to your joining the team at Half Moon?
Okay, so after leaving Westwood, I went to the Montego Bay Community College and I studied food and beverage management there. And then after that, I went to CAST and I studied catering and institutional management.
Right. No, the University of Technology, Jamaica.
Correct, yes. And then we had to do a work experience. And so my work experience started at Half Moon in 1989, where I spent 3 weeks. And I fell in love with Half Moon immediately. And I said, this is a place that I would like to work. And so after leaving UTech, I joined Half Moon as a trainee manager. And as a trainee manager, I worked in several departments. Yeah, you have to go into each department to understand. Yeah.
So you're
what
moving
the hotel
from
business is about. So you're moving from the bar, housekeeping, kitchen, front
laundry,
office,
laundry,
concierge, the main stores, accounts, you name it, all the areas. With the exception, I did not do landscaping, but
but that would have given you such a wide range of areas to touch on, which I'm sure those are things that now are very applicable when you have to do what you have to do.
Yes. That's
all of
the
that
best
experience.
way. Yes. That's the best way to learn about the hotel business, is to do a trainee program, a trainee manager program that takes you into all the departments.
Right. So you did your trainee manager program.
Right.
For how long?
I did it for a year, and then a vacancy came up in sales. So I was made assistant sales manager.
Were you assistant to Myrtle Dwyer?
I was not assistant to Myrtle Dwyer. I was assistant to Joyce Robinson. Joyce Richards at the time. But I did work under Myrtle.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So having done your 1 year trainee manager position, what was next for you?
Well, next for me, I met Nicola Madden at Half Moon when she joined as sales manager. And I mentioned she was just coming from FIU. Right.
Yes.
And I mentioned to her that I wanted to further my education. And she suggested, why not go to FIU? So she assisted me in terms of showing me the ropes of applying. And I applied. I got through, and I spent 18 months at the Florida International University studying for my bachelor's in hospitality and tourism management. And then right after, I went back to Half Moon as special projects in charge of the environment as well as training. And then I left Half Moon for a year, and I went to work with TPDCO, where I met Hushim and Marcia Brown.
Yes.
And yes, I was a training officer for Western Jamaica, and I used the opportunity there to assist in developing the Team Jamaica program, the customer service component of the program. But I also delivered training sessions for management and supervisory levels. And then I also trained craft vendors, police officers, and the Team Jamaica, and those were some fun moments.
And Team Jamaica is still going strong.
There you go. Yes.
So many years later.
Yes. And I'm a certified Team Jamaica trainer as well.
Yes, indeed.
And then Heinz Simonich called me and said he wants me to join the executive team, to come back to Half Moon to join the executive team. And I said, in what capacity? and then he said, as director of training and staff development. And so TPDCO really prepared me for that position. And so I joined Half Moon again in 1999. And I spent 6 years developing standards as well as training programs for the 850 staff, working with Richard Whitfield and a company that we hired at the time to assist us. And after that, I moved up to hotel manager and then director of resort operations, and in 2019, general manager.
So you have been going up the rung, going up the ladder.
That's right.
And it's amazing how the universe has a way of just preparing you for the next step.
That's right. Yes.
General manager in 2019. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because I think I have an insight in some of the history of Half Moon. And I know that prior to your becoming general manager, it was a lot of testosterone in the space.
Yes, yes.
And I also want to find out, where did you meet that gentleman sitting across from us? But that's for the second segment of the program. We take a break. You're listening to Jamaica's Tourism Titans. I'm Marlene Stevenson Daly. We soon come back.
In tourism, the people are the product. Yes, they are one of our industry's most important assets. They help create memorable lifetime experiences. They, through their service, make the difference. We share the stories of their challenges and triumphs, of what makes them tick, of who they really are, just to inspire you to act positively. You too can be an ambassador for tourism and our country and become a Jamaican tourism titan. Start today.
TPDCo's Explore Jamaica has insights into licensed tourism entities across Jamaica. Visit the Google or Apple Play Store and download the app today. Welcome back. You're listening to Jamaica's Tourism Titans, and my special guest is Caribbean Hotelier of the Year 2023, Mrs. Shernette Crichton. And before we took the break, we were talking a little bit about your steady climb up the corporate ladder in Half Moon to the position of General Manager. Before we talk about what that means for you and the 800 and odd staff that you command, tell me, what was it like working with the late hotelier Heinz Simonich? What lessons did he teach you? You know, I hear a lot of persons who have been in the business for a long time talk about how impactful he was. And how did he impact you?
Marlene, we could spend the entire day here and I could tell you about Heinz Simonich. But he's an icon. Yeah? And he taught me about community first and foremost. The importance of involving in community activities. He believed that the destination in which we operate must benefit from or impact. You know, he at the time opened the SOS Children's Village home, and he taught us that we must take care of the less fortunate. We have been given, a lot of opportunities, and so we must give back. So community was very high on Heinz Simonich's agenda. Also on his agenda was the environment. Yeah? He hated to see litter, and he would literally drive around in the mornings with a bag on his bike, and when he would come into office at about 8:30, he would empty that bag on our desk, and he would say, "We need to see things." And he wants managers who walk around, manage by walking around and seeing things and getting things done. So
Management
there are a
by
lot of
roving
that's
around.
That's right. So he taught us that lesson, that it is important for us not to sit in our offices, but we need to be out there on the floor with the team. Yeah, and those lessons have really impacted me. Yeah. And my career journey.
Yes.
Because I am that type of person now that I take off the heels, I put on the flats.
And you move around.
And I move around.
Yes.
And I see what's happening, and I pull up my sleeves, and I get in the trenches with the team when it's necessary.
Yes. And it's so important as part of your servant leadership role.
Yes.
To be there and to be empathetic.
Yes.
And to understand the circumstances and the situations under which your team members have to work. You can feel their feeling.
That's right.
And you can lead. They will do what needs to be done without your even saying it, because they see you as an example and leading from the front.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Is there anybody else who you would say has impacted you in any way along the journey that you would probably want to give a shout out at this time?
Sure. A few persons. Myrtle Dwyer. She taught me how to be tough and how to understand what we call customer relationship management, because she was the face of Half Moon for 34 years. And so she would draw me with her on sales trips, making sure that I understand the value of partnerships and staying in front of your partners so that you're always top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Irma Clark, who is Director of Human Resources, she taught me how to be a quiet achiever and the importance of people skills. Very, very critical in this business. And also veteran Wordsworth Watson, 60-year-old veteran from Half Moon, and he taught me basically how to keep your ears to the ground, to understand the staff, because they can make or break you.
Yes.
And Richard Whitfield, he an accountant by profession, but he taught me how to ensure that I understand what I'm doing before you make a decision. Seek first to understand, and look at the details, get the details, make sure you have the details and the facts. Cross the T's and dot the I's.
Yes.
And Ian Smith, another veteran at Half Moon, and he taught me, and he is also the best logistics manager when it comes on to emergency management.
Great. Well, you stand on all of these powerful people's shoulder. Yes, and that makes, I'm sure, all the difference. Now, never before in the 68-year history of Half Moon has a woman been at the helm. It's a very prestigious resort. I'm not sure if it is still marketed as part of the Elegant Resorts of Jamaica, is it?
No.
No, because it's now Salamander.
Salamander, right. It's now a Salamander, yes.
Property,
yes.
What does it take to command a staff of that many on a property that's been around for so many years, that's a tradition, that is a legend, and that people's expectations are so high for the service, the quality, everything that this property has to offer?
Marlene, it takes compassion. It takes a passion for what you do as well. And when I say compassion, meaning compassion for your team, being able to listen to them, being able to understand what's happening with them and their needs, and providing them with the right training, the tools, the equipment for them to be successful. It's also about leading by example. It's about honoring our rich values, which are respect, integrity, certainty, and honesty. And it's also about having that open door policy where your staff members can feel you. They can, they know that I'm accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about teamwork, because it is teamwork that gives us that edge, that makes winners out of all of us.
Yes.
Being able to know that you've hired the best experts. So do not micromanage them.
Yes.
Yeah?
So it starts from that.
That's right.
Process of hiring.
Hiring the best.
Yes.
And we have hired the best. I work with a remarkable team of hospitality professionals. I lift my hats off to them every single day.
Yes.
Because this business is not a 9-to-5 business. You know that.
I know.
It's 24/7.
And I know you're one of their biggest cheerleaders as well. I remember seeing you and Laura Redpath just storming the stage when one of your team members won the Tourism Service Excellence Award some years ago.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, the joy that was emanating from the other members of the team.
That's right.
This is not just a win for the individual, this is a win for all of us.
All of us, that's
Yes,
right, that's
yes.
right. And our owners, Marlene, so important. You know, they have taught us about family, yeah, because they treat us like family, and they continue to invest in us as well as the product, and that is also critical.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there any challenge that you can think of that you've had along the way which you've had to overcome, whether it is because of who you are or whether it's because you're a woman, you've been able to use your emotional intelligence to really make a difference in that situation? Is there anything that comes to mind? What has been most challenging?
Most challenging for me is to inspire the team daily. Yeah. Because there are times, Marlene, when you feel like not getting up and going to work.
Oh, yes, I know that.
Yes, yes. And you know that, listen, you have 850 mouths to feed. That's depending on you.
Yes.
Yeah? And so you have to have that self-will. You have to be self-motivated. Yeah? And sometimes the situations, you know, that will pop up from day to day because the customer expectations are just growing each day. Yeah? And so inspiring that team to come out every single day to give their best is not an easy task. Sometimes it's challenging because you're dealing with people.
I spoke with you, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, and you had mentioned that you were at like maybe 98% occupancy, which means you have really bounced back. You're not bouncing, you have bounced back from COVID-19. And over those 2 years, you would have done some of the things we spoke about earlier on, like opening up a new block. A new block. And what did COVID teach you?
Well, COVID taught me that you need partners. Yeah? You need people who can think strategically and who can come together and help you to rebound. And some of those partners were very, very important to us, like the Tourism Product Development Company, developing the protocols, the Ministry of Tourism, Minister Bartlett and his Resilience Corridor. Yes. The Jamaica Tourist Board. Yeah. Very, very important, very key to us. Yeah? And our home office as well, Salamander, in assisting us in developing the protocols for wellness. Yeah. Also, redefining the standards for luxury. And making sure that we are ready when the flood comes in.
Right.
Because right now, if
we are having that
that's
flood.
Right, we are
and so
having
your
the
travel
flood.
trade, your
that's
agents.
Right. There are travel agents, yes.
So very important.
And it was important for us to also update some aspects of the product. And we updated 68 of our hibiscus suites. We just reimagined that whole experience. And it's really bearing fruit for us now.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Tell me what is so special about Half Moon?
The people. I always say beyond the natural beauty of the resort is truly the warm and welcoming embrace that is extended by every level of staff. They have an inherent desire to learn the idiosyncrasies of our guests and to make each visit special. So our people, definitely.
Where would we find Shernette Crichton when you want to let your hair down? When you just want to loaf, be a loafter, and just chill? What do you like to do?
Well, I like to, when I go home, my husband is in the backyard, which he has made so beautiful. And he's out with the dogs, and I am on my bike, my stationary bike, and I'm listening to my playlist.
All right. Yeah. What's on your playlist at this time?
What's on my playlist? All right.
Yes,
so I like Chronics. I like Chronics.
Right.
And I like also Busy Signal. Yeah.
Right.
And there is this song, Marlene. I can't really sing. But Busy Signal song that says, "Me love Jamaica and me not sell out."
All right.
Because so many of our people are leaving us, and I want them to know that, listen, stay and build Jamaica. We have a great product.
You have a beautiful voice, man. All right. So where did you meet Mr. Shernette Crichton, your other half?
We met at the community college.
You were students?
Yes. We met at the community college, but we actually started dating at CAST.
Okay, so he went over to CAST as well?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just fasting in the business, you know.
Yes. We are actually married for 28 years.
28 years.
Yes. And we dated 7 years before that.
All right.
Yes, so we have 3 boys. Yes. 3 boys, yes.
Wonderful. And down the road, I'm sure you're looking forward to some grandchildren as well. And, you know, family is so very important.
Yes,
so important.
It is.
I have just a few more questions for you before we wrap it up inside this episode of Jamaica's Tourism Titans. And one of them is, what drives you? What drives the Caribbean Hotelier of the Year 2023? What inspires you? What drives you?
Ambition. People with ambition inspires me. I really don't like to see people who are lazy at all. I want to see people working and building their communities, building a better life for themselves, as well as building the nation. Yes.
And what are the top 3 things about Jamaica that you absolutely love?
The people.
All right, we're back to the people. Yes,
the people. Yeah, the landscape. Yes, and the music.
Landscape and the music.
Yes.
All right, and then I'm going to throw in the 4th one, which is the food. The curried goat.
Yes, the curried goat and
manish
water. Yes, I love that. Yeah, Christmas time. Oh my goodness, but I could eat it more often. It's not that.
What word of advice would you give to young women who are aspiring to be at the top of their game in the hospitality and the tourism industry? We find some of our youngsters, they are just finished with their degree and they come in and they want to start at the top of the ladder. It doesn't really work that way.
No.
So what advice would you give to some of our young, not just young women, but or young people in general who want to and who aspire to really get ahead in this business?
My advice to them is to find mentors. Yeah. Also to upskill. Sometimes we feel that, yes, we have our bachelor's degree or we have a diploma, but to really find online or certificate courses in whatever field you go into, so that you can stay current, and to focus. There's a saying that says, show me your friends and I will show you your future. And I'm going to leave this example that I learned at Half Moon when I started there. There are 5 types of employees. The first one is the deadwood. And the deadwood is that employee that sits and just dreams about payday. And then there's a problem child. That employee always has an excuse as to why something cannot be done. Why is it that they are late? There is an excuse. And then you have the marginal. And then that marginal employee is the one that sits on the fence and says, okay, I'm going to watch to see who is going to do this or who is going to do that before they lift a finger. And then there is the workhorse. And the workhorse will give you 8 hours for 8 hours. They come in, at 9, and then they pick their bags up at 5, and then they say, bye, see you tomorrow. And then there's the superstar. The superstar is the one that turns the lights on and the one that turns the lights off. They go above and beyond the call of duty. They get involved. They volunteer. And they also upskill. I encourage everyone to be a superstar. We would make Jamaica a rich, very rich country and a better place to live.
What a wonderful note on which to end. Be a superstar and make Jamaica a better place. And if we can extend this analogy, make this world
a better place.
A better place.
Yes.
Thank you so much for talking with me today inside Jamaica's Tourism Titans. Shernette Crichton, our Hotelier of the Year for 2023. Not just hotelier, we're talking about the Caribbean hotelier. We're talking about our region, which is so dependent on tourism. And you have stood out. Continue on your winning ways. And thank you so much for being my guest. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Tourism Titans. We welcome your feedback at letusknow@tpdco.org. Leave us a comment, share, like, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TPDCOJA. I'm Marlene Stevenson Daly. See you soon.